Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, the week before Christmas here in Binghamton, New York, and we have had some wonderful snowy weather. Yes, the roads were a little icy, but we took it easy, and the kids are enjoying it. The kids are just overjoyed that we're going to have snow for Christmas. Today, with Yvonne DeVita, myself, on Smart Woman Conversations, I'm going to be talking to Elaine Rau. Welcome, Elaine. Yes. And she's from something called Ladybossblogger. Now, anyone out there who remembers me as lipsticking knows that something called Ladybossblogger has got to be something I need to be part of. I mean, after all, think about it yourself. You're a lady, you want to be a boss. Maybe you don't know how to be a blogger, but you'd like to be. And you find Elaine on site, and she's there to tell you, teach you, train you, give you the resources that you need. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Elaine, I'm going to read a little bit more about you so the audience will have a little bit of background. So, Elaine Rau is a former national wedding sales manager. She lost her brother-in-law, her job, and her home all in 1 week. Just imagine that. I mean, you lose someone close to you, your job and your home, all in 1 week. Stuck in a developing country with no job opportunities, she had to learn how to make an income online ASAP. So she spent her last bit of savings, $12.18 to be exact, and she invested in a blog domain, Ladybossblogger.com. Since its conception, Ladybossblogger has garnered a massive audience of 150,000 in under 2 years, and it's a platform today that helps female entrepreneurs learn how to start, grow, and scale their own business, their own online businesses and blogs. So Elaine, welcome to Smart Woman Conversations.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Well, I'm excited because you have such a unique backstory. Tell us a little bit about the experience of going through that and saying, I've got to get myself going. Let me use this $12 thoughtfully.
Yeah. So let me flesh out a little bit about how it happened. So I was working in the wedding industry, climbed the corporate ladder, loved what I was doing. I mean, wedding industry was like my life. Like I was the girl at the party who always pick up her phone and always be gone. And I mean, it was just always work. But then one day my fiance, actually he was my boyfriend at the time, he called me from overseas and told me that his brother had just been murdered. And so I asked my boss if I could go be with him, be with his family, and he said no. And his reasoning was because it would affect sales. And so I had no other choice. I love my job, but that's, you can't stay in a job like that. So I quit, packed my stuff in 2 suitcases, and then moved to Honduras where my boyfriend and his family were. And was like, after a few weeks, I was like, what am I doing? I'm here to like help my boyfriend and his family, but I mean, I'm jobless. I have no idea. I don't speak Spanish. I don't have any friends here at my home. Everything, I just uprooted everything. And I had to reinvent myself because what my wedding industry skills didn't transfer over. I mean, no one gets married there, unless only the elite. My sales industry skills didn't transfer because I couldn't speak to anybody. And actually, as a stress reliever, when I was in the wedding industry, I was an intern for this blogger. And so I would go to these events for her and just blog. And honestly, I really did not like blogging. I did not like writing. I like going to the events. But they made me feel special. They made me feel like, I mean, it was all these like exclusive events that like we were invited to, or like these exclusive products that we got to try, or different stuff like that. Like I met like Lauren Conrad and like, former Bear, like just celebrities, and it was cool, so I wanted that feeling back, which is why I associated blogging with like feeling important, with like, with bliss. And so basically when I was there and I was like wondering what to do with myself, and, I need to to give myself a reason to wake up in the morning, or to give myself a job to do. Otherwise I would just go crazy and just fall deeper into depression. And so I bought Ladybossblogger, the domain, because I wanted to become a lady boss blogger. And I didn't know how to do that. And so, but that was my goal. And so I worked on it every single day. I mean, wake up at like 6 a.m., worked until midnight, and just passed out and did it all over again every single day. And I just wanted to, I reached out to women who inspired me, like interviewed like this. But I didn't do it video because the internet there's like super slow too.
Right. It wasn't
so,
at that time.
Right. So I had to figure out a way to like stay connected with like the outside world. And so I reached out to like a bunch of women, and I asked if they would be willing to be interviewed by me. And that's kind of how it all started. So yeah.
But you've come so far. First, though, before we talk about how far you've come, because you offer so much on your site, and I want to talk about that. How did you, like, did it take a long time to come up with the Ladybossblogger domain? Did you write down a lot of different things? Did you talk with other people? How did you actually come up with that?
Yeah, I wanted to be called Lady Boss Blog, but then all the socials, like some of the socials were taken, or like the Gmail was taken, and like it was just owned by like a lot of different people. And I was like, that's too messy. And so I had already bought Lady Boss Blog, and I was like, all right, fine, let me just buy Lady Boss Blogger, you know? So I just switched it. Like, I'm very spontaneous. And so like, if I just do it instead of like thinking too much about it. So I just bought it. And I was like, all right, let's start this. Well, I don't know. See where it goes.
But you knew that's what you wanted. I really like that. I think that sometimes we get ourselves caught up into what other people think we should do, or if we want something deeply and we talk to someone in the family or a close friend, and they look at us like, what? I mean, back in the day, let me tell you, back in the day when I used to tell people I was a blogger in 2004, they'd be like, what's a blog? I don't even know what that is.
I still get that, to be honest.
And so then gradually when I started getting paid and I was making money, people would look at me like, what do people pay you to do on a blog? But a blog is a serious business. We're talking writing, tell us about all the things that go into this blog business that you have.
Yeah, so it didn't start. So I actually started making money my very first week, and I didn't realize until in retrospect that that's actually very rare.
Yes.
And so what I did was, first off, I was desperate, but second off, I was like, I had that sales background, so I was like, what if I could like monetize these interviews somehow? So I actually charged $5 per interview. So for them to get interviewed on my site. And then the next month I was like, oh, my audience grew. So then I charged $10, 20, 25, until it went up to 100. But that's how I made the bulk of my money in my very first year, was through interviews. And I don't know a single other person who's done it that way. Most of it has been maybe affiliate marketing or a service or product or something like that. But I had no idea you could even make money from a blog. Like, because when I was working for that blogger, she had it for 8 years and she hadn't monetized $1, you know.
But she was doing events, you said.
Yeah, she was just doing everything for free. It was her side hobby.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and she had millions of followers. And unfortunately, her blog is shut down now because she couldn't maintain it. And because she was just doing other stuff. I know. And so I was just in a place where I just needed to somehow make money. And so I just came up with this idea, and it worked. And it's because I would reach out to like 100 women, and then like 10 women would get back to me. And then, you know, maybe 5 would pay me. And then I was like, all right, then I just kept it up and kept it going. It wasn't until like a year after I started blogging that I was interviewed by the Huffington Post, and about blogging specifically, that I was like, oh, blogging is my super skill. Because on my blog, I didn't talk about blogging. What I talked about was female entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship, business, startups. That's what I was interested in. That's what I wanted to learn. And from every interview, I learned, it was like I had like thousands of mentors, you know, at my disposal, because I was interviewing them and learning from them, because I couldn't afford a mentor, right? And so their business tools, that's became like something that I would always look forward to. And I started using their business tools. If they would recommend, you know, some kind of service or some kind of product, whatever, then I would go and check that out. And so that's how, and then so anyways, after a year, when I was interviewed and I was like, okay, maybe I should start blogging a little bit about blogging, because that's what people are asking me now. You know, they're emailing me and like, hey, how did you start such a successful blog? And I was like, I really did not want to blog about blogging, to be honest, because I didn't feel like I was only a year in. Like, what did I have to say? You know, but the fact that I was getting interviewed by these large company or these publications about it, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just have a little more confidence and just try it, you know. So I started blogging a little bit more about that.
You were people, other important groups and publications saw what you were doing and wanted to hear more. So clearly you were on the right path. And that's one of the things that we as ladies sometimes struggle with, this confidence thing. Like, I don't know blogging, but clearly you knew enough about blogging to attract the right eyeballs.
Well, all I knew was that I wanted to produce something valuable for myself. Yes. And in so doing, I produced something valuable for other people. So another thing is that I created content every single day. Like, there was not a single day that I would like be like, oh, today's my cheat day. No, there's like 0 cheat days. For 2 whole years, my first 2 years, I posted a brand new blog post every single day at 6 p.m. And people knew that when they came to my site, they could expect new content. So in so doing, I ranked super high on SEO. You know what I mean? With all this content, it looks like you're a lot bigger than you are, and a lot that you've been online a lot longer. So if you like force yourself, you know, or like motivate yourself, let's say, to produce daily content, people notice. And that's how you're going to get an audience, is when people, number one, is I kind of think of it as like a, you know, mother-daughter relationship, or just like as a, you know, familial, right? Like, if they're constantly there for you, you know, they always show up at your door at 6 p.m. You expect it, you rely on them, you depend on them, and then you trust them. So whatever information they give you. And so that's how I was just able, it's very simple, you know, that's it. That's all I did.
And the internet notices. And the internet, that's what I did when I started lipsticking. I wrote every single day. I chose my keywords and my phrases and my content carefully. I knew what I wanted to be known for. And so for many years, I was the #1 result if you search marketing to women online, or even marketing to women. So that's what I did back in 2004 and 2005. And that was my goal, and I achieved it. But I did it exactly the way you're saying. And I think you have a little bit more foresight into recognizing that, jeepers, people are coming to read. They need to see the new content. You were smart enough to know and to see that, well, if they're coming, then Google's going to come. Now I've got the right eyeballs, both from my audience and from Google. Now what do I do with it? Because now you've built it into this wonderful thing. And tell us about that.
Yeah. So then I started, because with all these questions flowing in about my blog, then I started just compiling all their questions, and I turned it into a course so that it could just be some easy way. And that also opened up a whole brand new revenue stream for me, which was incredible, because I really wanted to stop the service aspect of it. And, you know, every post equals a certain amount of dollars. And so I wanted to stop trading my time for profit. And so in so doing, and so creating a course, I was able to just completely scale my business to a whole other level, because everything is just now automated, right? So they go through, you know, my sales sequence via email, and then they purchase the course, or however it is that they find it. But that's in general how it's done.
And you have the pink, so you're very careful with your brand. I mean, let's talk a little bit about brand. Did you decide when you chose look, when I chose lipsticking, I chose red. You are going with pink. And was that your first choice?
Yes. Actually, I didn't even really like pink until my husband was like, he saw me wearing pink one day, and he was like, oh, you know, I really like you in this color. And I was like, okay, fine. And then so it just like stuck. And so I just chose pink, and I just stuck with it. And I feel like for me, I really like consistency, and I like templates. So once I decide on thing, I'm just like, all right, this is how it's going to be. I create a structure for it, and then I run with it until however long, you know, until I feel like it needs to be changed. And then I change the structure, and then I continue. So that's how I like to do things. It's very, so I guess I already think in a very branding mentality. But I mean, even, you know, with Ladybossblogger, I would not accept the fact that like I couldn't get all the social media handles before starting it. You know what I mean? Like that was very important to me, because if you want to search somebody and then you can't find them with the same username, it doesn't make sense, right? So I would say, number one, if you're starting a blog, look at all the socials first, snag them, and then purchase your domain. Or purchase your domain and then, you know, so that.
Well, yes. So exactly what you did. You purchased the domain and then you went out and got the social channel names so that you could own them. And that's a big deal. It's something that people should pay attention to. Even if you're not going to be hugely active on the channel, you need to own your own name.
And another thing with being active on channels is that like, I really didn't want to be on social media all the time. Like, so it looks like I'm on there, but I'm actually not. The reason how you do that is just with social media automation, right? You schedule all your stuff. I have my stuff scheduled for a 90-day queue. So like, you know, every single day from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., it's like regurgitating my content across all my channels, Twitter, Facebook, you know, all this different stuff. And so I'm not on there at all, you know.
How did you learn that? Where were you smart enough to learn that?
It's because I didn't want to be online all the time. So I was looking at how to not be online all the time. So that's how I decided to look into that. And I wanted it to be like a queue so that I wouldn't have to refill the content. Because a lot of these schedulers, they're like, okay, you can schedule it, you know, a week, 2 weeks, whatever. But then after that, you have to refill it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to I wanted to maximize my time, right? So if you do like 5 hours, create all your content, and then you're good for the year, you know, that's a really good use of your time. So
do you teach people to do that?
I do in my course, but it's not like the main thing per se. You know, in regards to it's not regurgitating. It's what's the word?
You train people and you actually take what you know and you let them learn from it. One of the things though is that I want people to understand that there's work involved. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. If you want to be a success online, there's work involved. But looking at it the way you have built it and developed it, you can build your own schedule and manage your own work if you have the right tools. So I'm sure you have specific tools that you use. Do you want to share any tools that you use?
So the one that I use is Smarter Queue. So if you go to ladybossblogger.com/smarter, QUEUE, that is the one that I use and have been using for like that's the very first thing after I purchased my blog domain was I purchased social media automation. And this is how you can like basically like go on vacation and like, you know, for a month or whatever, and then still maintain your blog and your business without having to do anything. So that was another one of my motivators, was that like I want to be active, but I don't want to be on.
Right. But I mean, so we're seeing your beautiful, pretty face here, and I know you make videos, correct?
I just started recently, kind of. Yeah. I emailed my list last year, and I was like, okay, what do you want from me? Do you want YouTube videos, podcasts, more blog posts, courses? What do you want? Like 90% was like YouTube, and I was like, no, like I hate being on video. It's stressful for me, you know, like it's not, you know. So I started on Instagram first. I started creating little Instagram 1-minute videos of like products, and so I've been doing a lot, and that's a whole other revenue stream too, which is Instagram and monetizing through product recommendations and working with brands. And I sell a course on that as well. But basically, wait, I forgot the question.
So you're doing video now. You were not, but you are now.
Yes, because honestly, video is king. Like you keep on hearing that. It's true. You can get so much more across. You can get a personality. You know, people connect way better with you. And so that's how my Instagram has been surging like crazy, because I've started posting videos behind my photos. You always have to swipe right. I'm still a little bit shy about going 100% video, but if you swipe right, there's always a little video feature. of, you know, and so now this year I'm going to be starting to do it a little bit more with my blog, and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, video content, it's hard. There's a lot of editing that goes involved. Even with my 1-minute videos, I mean, I could shoot it for like, and I stutter a lot too, so I also have to edit all those out. But even a 1-minute video, it takes me like a couple hours sometimes, you know, to like trim it down, you know, to the perfect minute. So
yeah, we're here at Smart Woman Conversations. We're just talking, so I don't do a lot of actual video editing, but there is a fair amount of preparation for it, and there's a fair amount of, I want to make sure I represent my guest well when I talk about it on YouTube, when I talk about it on the blog, you know, wherever it's going to be. I want to make sure that both my guest is going to be represented and the people watching are going to feel something when they see the video. I mean, it is hard. It was a long time. People were telling me you have to start doing video, and I said, I don't want to do video. And I actually started doing like, I cheated. I did PowerPoint slides and I talked, and every once in a while I put my face in there, but
no, but I love what you said about like the process, the gradation of like how you did. You started with something that you could potentially be comfortable with, and then you continued on. I did the same thing in the sense that like 2 years ago, this would never happen. Like I would never be online like this, you know, but like I accepted 3 of these kind of interviews all at once during Christmas 2 years ago. And I was like, I am going to do this no matter what. I don't care how terrified I am. My hands are trembling like on the bottom. And like, I mean, it was like the first one, I'm sorry for the very first one, but the second one, I was like, okay, better. And then by the third one, I was like feeling a little bit more comfortable. But like the fact you just have to do it, you know, just get it out there and then get better, because it's not going to be perfect.
Yes.
So
my first couple videos that I started when I started doing this show, I look back and, you know, the first actually 4 or 5, they're okay, but it wasn't as relaxed as I really wanted it to be. And, you know, so the person who's running the video is in charge of that. So you're in charge of making it comfortable for your guest or for your audience. But I'm really fascinated by Instagram. Instagram and I don't get along that well. I do need to learn it better. Do you think Instagram is the up and coming, more so than like Pinterest or Facebook or Twitter? Should Instagram be where people are?
125% million times, whatever. Yes, Instagram is definitely, I mean, if you're looking at brand deals, you're looking at partnerships, you're looking to make money online, Instagram is the place to be, because that's, I mean, like 90% of brands will ask for Instagram. Some brands do ask for YouTube as well, but usually it's in addition to, but that's also my world as well, like my realm, because I create Instagram content. But I mean, Twitter, I've probably done like a few on there, Facebook, a few as well, but like the bulk of partnerships are on Instagram. And I like that you said that you guys don't get along, but maybe you just have to get to know them better to like get along better. You know, like spend more time with it, you know, like develop a relationship, you know, so that you can feel more comfortable in doing so. And I did the same exact technique with my blog as with my Instagram. And the reason actually I started Instagram was because after, you know, a year, or it was more like a year and a half or 2 years, people were like, okay, well, who is the Lady Boss blogger? I want to know who blogs behind that. And then so I was like, fine, you know, so then I started the Instagram to like showcase the behind the scenes of a blogger's life, as well as the products I use, blah, 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 whatever, my travels, etc. So I think that it's important to honestly have like 2, like, I like that your thing, lipsticking, that's like your professional brand. And then think about Instagram has to be your, I would recommend it to be your personal brand. So having your name, having your specific thing, so that it's about you, right? You can also, I think it's good to have 2, but I would focus on you first, because if you are looking to towards like brand deals, that's what they want. They want, like, you are the representation of your brand. People follow you. People want to hear from you. So,
and didn't Instagram just change one of their algorithms? Didn't they just take
they're
the links
constantly
away?
changing algorithms. Like, I think that it's good that they're doing that because it's always for the user. It's always for, you know, the benefit of the people. So instead of thinking of algorithms as your enemy, it's think of it as a good way forward. How can you work with the algorithm? How can you work with Instagram and their new changes? Otherwise, you're going to constantly be stuck and be like, well, I wish it was the way it was. It's never going to go back there. So let's move forward, right?
That's very interesting. Did you say you have a course on that on your site?
Yes.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
I will be sure to share that because it seems like it's something that's really, really important.
Yes. And actually, I mean, the majority of marketers and people that are out there right now, I mean, Instagram influencer marketing is just going to grow. It's already projected 2020. It's going to expand. Like the amount of stuff that I've been getting versus like even just 6 months ago is crazy. Like I used to not post like a sponsored, I used to post probably maybe a sponsored post every week or something like that. Now it's every single day. It's, I mean, brands are jumping on it like crazy. So it has, and you can tie it with your blog as well. For me, my brands are separate. But I would definitely recommend if you do want to do a personal brand and a personal blog to tie those in because blogging is still really, really relevant.
Yeah, blogging is like kind of like your homepage, and then you have all these little offshoots where you hang out, which I think is really great about social media. So we're coming to the end of our time. I don't know, went by really, really, really fast. I think that, well, gosh, we talked a lot about how you created these, your Ladybossblogger, and how you decided to do Instagram, and how you put the time, energy, and work into it. But I don't want people to think that it's drudgery. I never want people to think, oh, this is going to make you wish you had, stayed in your day job. No, I want people to understand how it is freedom. It is your life. Talk about how that has changed your life.
I always say that time freedom is a huge responsibility. Not everyone can handle it. And so you have to make sure that, like, if you want time freedom, you have to fill it with the right things, right? In the sense of like, be smart about your actions, be, like have appointments, set up according to like what it is that you want to do. But I really call time freedom a responsibility because a lot of people can waste it, and that's when you end up going to your day job because you're used to people telling you, giving you projects, telling you what to do. When you're on your own and no one's doing that, it's hard, and so you have to make sure that like it's something that, of course, you truly love or you truly want to learn about, because I think for me everything has just been a learning process. It didn't become something I loved until like I learned how to do it well, and so but if you had to like the process in order to get to the product.
Yeah, that's important what you just said, that you didn't learn to love it until you learned how to do it well. And it's a learning curve. There's nothing in life that you want to do that doesn't have a learning curve. But if you do it, and I think I want to also leave people with the recognition, I always like to say this where it's appropriate, they can tap into you. You have courses. I mean,
and I have free courses as well.
Exactly. And you don't have to try and figure it out on your own. There's places to go and people that will teach you. And I want them to be able to tap into you. Elaine, this has been phenomenal. Thank you so much for being my guest on Smart Woman Conversations. I can't wait to share you with everyone.
Thank you so much. This has been, I'm so sad it's coming to an end already. I feel like it's just been like 2 minutes.
It just went by so fast. But we'll do it again. We'll do it again because there's still so much to share.
Sounds good. Thank you so much again.
Happy holidays.